Welcome to a Thought Library. Today, we're diving into the legendary book that has transformed countless lives, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. These powerful words echo through time, offering a timeless promise. Imagine yourself in the bleakest days of the Great Depression. No job, no money, and hope slipping away. You're standing in a long bread line, the cold biting through your clothes. Then someone hands you a small, unassuming book. Its cover reads, Think and Grow Rich. Could the secrets inside truly unlock the life you've only dreamed of? Today, we're not just summarizing this classic. We're immersing ourselves in its wisdom. Step by step, we'll explore the powerful principles Hill uncovered after dedicating over 20 years to studying the world's most successful individuals. Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford. These icons unlocked extraordinary success, and Hill distilled their lessons into 13 transformative steps. But this book isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's about reshaping your mindset, overcoming fear, and unlocking your fullest potential. Whether your goal is financial freedom, personal growth, or fulfilling a lifelong dream, Think and Grow Rich offers a blueprint for achieving it. Here's what you can expect in today's journey. 1. Origins and Insights. We'll explore how Hill's conversations with Carnegie sparked a quest for understanding the true drivers of success. 2. The 13 Principles of Achievement. From the power of desire and faith to the strength of the mastermind principle, we'll break down each transformative lesson. 3. Conquering the 6 Ghosts of Fear. Hill warns us about fear's crippling hold. Together, we'll uncover strategies to overcome self-doubt and unleash your confidence. 4. Real-world applications. Think this is just philosophy? Think again. We'll share inspiring stories, both from Hill's time and today's world, illustrating how these principles continue to change lives. 5. Your path forward. Expect actionable insights you can apply immediately. Because knowledge without action is just a missed opportunity. And as we go, I'll ask you some thought-provoking questions. What ignites your deepest desire? What fears hold you back? Reflect on them. By the end, you won't just understand Think and Grow Rich. You'll feel empowered to apply its lessons to your own journey. So, settle in, clear your mind, and prepare to see the world through the lens of limitless possibility. Ready to transform your thinking and perhaps your life? Let's begin. Chapter 1. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Our journey begins with the first step toward riches. Desire. Hill famously says, desire is the starting point of all achievement. But he's not talking about a mere wish or daydream. He means a deep, burning obsession. Imagine your goal is like a fire. Desire is the spark that lights that fire and the fuel that keeps it burning. Without a burning desire, the remaining principles won't matter. To illustrate desire, Hill opens with the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man of humble beginnings but grand ambitions. Barnes had one consuming obsession. He wanted to become a business partner of the great Thomas Edison. Crazy? Perhaps. He was a nobody with no money, arriving at Edison's office looking like a tramp after riding freight trains. But in his mind, Barnes already saw himself as Edison's partner. He didn't say, I'd like to work for Edison. He said he'd work with Edison. That is the language of definite desire. Edison gave Barnes a chance, not as a partner, but as a lowly floor sweeper. Did Barnes quit? No. 5 years passed as he labored and learned, with no hint of progress. Yet he never let the flame of his desire flicker out. To everyone else, he was just another helper in Edison's company. But to Barnes, in his own mind, he was destined to be Edison's partner every minute of the time. Eventually, an opportunity came. Edison had invented a new device, the Edison dictating machine, that his salesman doubted. Barnes seized this chance, passionately selling the machine nationwide. His success was so great that Edison finally made him an official partner in the business. Barnes's burning desire became reality. He literally thought himself into a partnership with Edison. What's the lesson here? A wish or vague hope won't cut it. Barnes's desire transcended everything else. It was keen, pulsating, and definite. Hill tells us to kindle such a white-hot obsession for our own goals. Do you have a goal you want so badly that you're willing to stake everything on it? Think of an aspiring entrepreneur today, maybe a person who quits a secure job to build their dream startup. Their friends call them crazy, but their desire pushes them through late nights and setbacks. Or consider an athlete who imagines Olympic gold and trains for years, day in and day out. This is the level of intensity we're talking about. Hill even provides 6 practical steps to turn desire into reality, essentially a formula. 1. Fix in your mind the exact goal you desire. Be specific about the amount of money or success you seek. 2. Determine what you'll give in return. Nothing comes free. 3. Set a definite date to achieve it. 4. Create a detailed plan and start immediately, whether you feel ready or not. 5. Write a clear mission statement with the above details. 6. Read your written statement aloud twice daily with conviction so it imprints on your mind. These steps are essentially a ritual to intensify your desire into a burning obsession. Hill's philosophy is that when your desire is strong enough, you'll find a way. Obstacles become challenges to overcome, not dead ends. Barnes burned all bridges behind him. He gave himself no way out, no retreat. That level of commitment sends a powerful signal to your mind, and perhaps to the universe, that failure is not an option. History is full of examples. The Wright brothers' burning desire to fly drove them through countless crashes. J.K. Rowling's desire to share her story of Harry Potter kept her going despite a dozen rejections. When you want something as intensely as a drowning person wants air, you will get it. That's the idea. Chapter 2. Faith, Visualization, and Belief in Attainment. Desire kickstarts the engine, but faith is what makes you truly believe you can reach the finish line. Hill calls faith the visualizing of and believing in the attainment of desire. In other words, it's the absolute confidence that the goal you desire will happen. No maybes or wishful thinking. According to Hill, faith is a state of mind that can be induced or created by affirmation and repeated instruction to the subconscious mind. This might sound abstract, but think of it this way. When you genuinely believe in something, your mind finds ways to make it real. One of the most touching examples Hill gives is from his own life, the story of his son Blair. Blair was born with a severe handicap, no physical ears and no hearing. Doctors said he'd never hear or speak. It was a crushing verdict for any parent in that era. But Hill had extraordinary faith. He refused to accept that his son was doomed to a silent life. Hill formed an unshakable belief that Blair would one day hear and speak normally. He visualized his son living a regular life, and he instilled that belief in Blair as he grew up. Hill spoke to the boy as if he could hear, read bedtime stories, encouraged him constantly, effectively programming faith into the child's subconscious. Years later, through what many would call a miracle of faith, and perhaps the aid of new technology, Blair did acquire hearing. He got a hearing device that allowed him to hear almost normally. Not only that, Blair went on to inspire others with hearing impairments, spreading the message of hope. This story shows Hill's principle in action. Faith backed by action can manifest what seems impossible. Modern psychology might explain this in terms of the placebo effect or the power of positive thinking. When you truly believe in an outcome, you subconsciously behave in ways that support that outcome. Your body language, tone, and decisions start aligning with your belief. For instance, think of a job interview. If you walk in believing, I am the perfect fit for this job, not arrogant, but confidently, you'll project enthusiasm and competence. If you go in riddled with doubt, that lack of faith can sabotage your performance. Likewise, an entrepreneur who has faith in their product will pitch it with conviction and persist through setbacks, whereas someone who secretly doubts themselves will more easily give up when encountering obstacles. Hill goes so far as to say that faith is essential to harness the subconscious. He writes, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Notice those key words, conceive and believe. You need to imagine yourself achieving the goal, that's visualization, and genuinely trust that it's possible, that's faith. When desire, from Chapter 1, and faith combine, they form a potent partnership. Desire says, I want this. Faith says, it's not only possible, it's inevitable if I keep going. So how do we cultivate faith if we don't have it yet? Hill introduces the tool of autosuggestion, coming in the next chapter. Basically repeated affirmations to influence our mind. But even before using fancy techniques, consider doing what Hill did. Visualize your success in detail. See it, feel it. Athletes use this all the time today. A gymnast will mentally rehearse a perfect routine. A golfer will picture the ball landing on the green. This mental imagery builds confidence because to the brain it's like a pre-experience of success. Hill suggests that by writing and reciting your goal, the statement from the desire chapter, with emotion, you slowly convince your mind that you will have this success. Over time, the line between belief and reality blurs. Your mind starts acting as if the outcome is certain. Let's try a quick exercise. Picture yourself 1 year from now, having achieved your number one goal. Really visualize that scene. Where are you? What are you doing? How do you feel? Now, here's a powerful question. Do you truly believe this outcome can be yours? If a voice of doubt creeps in, who am I kidding? This is unrealistic. Don't worry, that's normal. Faith isn't built overnight. It's built by repetition and evidence. Each small win you achieve can reinforce your faith for bigger wins. Hill also emphasizes the emotional aspect of faith. It's not cold logic. It's a burning confidence. When you mix emotion like love, enthusiasm, or even sex drive with your thoughts, those thoughts reach your subconscious more readily. And the subconscious is where faith resides. This is why affirmations should be said with feeling, not robotically. For example, saying, I will become a successful author, while feeling the pride and joy of that accomplishment will impact you much more than saying it flatly with no emotion. Modern example, consider Jim Carrey, the actor. In the early 1990s, when Jim Carrey was a nobody struggling in Hollywood, he famously wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated Thanksgiving 1995. He kept that check in his wallet and looked at it often, a tangible affirmation of his faith in his success. He truly believed he would one day cash a $10 million acting paycheck. And guess what? By 1995, after films like Ace Ventura and The Mask, Carrey's faith became reality. He earned about $10 million for Dumb and Dumber. It's a real-world case of desire plus faith, reinforced by a symbolic act, leading to achievement. Actionable insights, applying faith. Start a faith journal. Each day, jot down evidence of progress toward your goal, no matter how small. It could be a new contact you made, a compliment you received on your work, or a tiny milestone. Reviewing these notes builds confidence by showing you're on the right track. Affirmations with emotion. Choose a few positive statements that affirm your belief in yourself and your goal. Example: I have the talent and grit to your goal. Recite them aloud with feeling each morning. It's okay if it feels awkward at first. Over time, you'll internalize the message. Pro tip: do this in front of a mirror to add intensity, looking yourself in the eye. Visualize daily. Spend a few minutes daily vividly visualizing the moment when you achieve your goal. Engage all senses if you can. What will you see, hear, and feel? Make it as real as possible in your mind. This strengthens your subconscious belief. Surround yourself with faith. Put up images, quotes, or vision boards that represent your goal. Surround yourself with people who believe in you or stories of others who succeeded. Positive input from your environment can reinforce your faith. As Hill notes, the subconscious picks up on our dominating thoughts. Keep those thoughts positive and faith-filled. Act as if this is a trick from psychology. Behave as if you already have the confidence/success you seek. If you were already the successful version of you, how would you act today? What choices would you make? Step into that mindset. The more you act in faith, the more your mind accepts it as reality, and soon it stops being an act. Remember, faith doesn't mean ignoring reality or refusing to plan for challenges. It means believing you can handle those challenges. It's an attitude of optimism and self-assurance. Hill believed, and many now agree, that our mind is a magnet. When charged with faith, it tends to attract the people and opportunities we need. Whether or not you believe in a literal law of attraction, cultivating faith clearly changes your behavior in a way that influences outcomes. When you truly believe in your goal, you'll notice you take more initiative, shrug off setbacks faster, and people around you respond to your confidence. It's infectious. Chapter 3, Autosuggestion, the medium of influencing the subconscious. Now we arrive at a concept that ties desire and faith together: autosuggestion. This chapter might sound technical, but it's incredibly practical. Autosuggestion is basically self-suggestion, a way of feeding your own mind with messages of your choosing. Think of it as a direct line to your subconscious. Hill calls autosuggestion the medium through which you influence the subconscious mind. Why is that important? Because our subconscious is the powerhouse that drives our habits, beliefs, and creativity. If desire is the what and faith is the why, then autosuggestion is the how you install your desires and beliefs into the very fabric of your mind. We've already touched on the method. Those written affirmations and visualization practices are forms of autosuggestion. When you repeat a thought to yourself again and again, especially with emotion, it tends to sink in. We know this intuitively. Negative self-talk can cripple our confidence over time. "I'm not good enough," said daily, becomes a belief. Autosuggestion flips that script by using conscious, positive self-talk to empower us. Hill says, any idea, plan, or purpose may be planted in the mind by repetition of thought. In 1937, this sounded almost mystical. Today, we might frame it in terms of neuroscience. Repeated thoughts strengthen neural pathways in the brain. Essentially, you're training your brain. The key, Hill emphasizes, is that simply reading words with your eyes isn't enough. You must engage your emotions and faith while suggesting ideas to yourself. That's why he urged readers to read their desire statement aloud, feeling as if they already owned the money or achieved the goal. Let's break down a simple scenario. Suppose your goal is to double your income. Through autosuggestion, each morning you might affirm, "I am confidently earning X dollars by this date through this work." At first, your rational mind might scoff, "I'm not earning that yet." But as you persist, day after day, with enthusiasm, "I am earning amount of money. I am successful," something shifts. You start to internalize the possibility. You might find yourself spotting opportunities to make more money that you previously overlooked, or you become bolder in asking for a raise or pitching a client. This isn't magic. It's you conditioning your mind to focus on your goal constantly, so you act in alignment with it. Think of autosuggestion like planting seeds. Each positive affirmation or mental image is a seed planted in the rich soil of your subconscious. One seed won't do much, but if you plant the same kind of seed over and over, repetition, and nurture it with emotion, water, and sunlight, Eventually you get a crop. In practical terms, repeated positive suggestions grow into beliefs, and those beliefs drive actions. Modern parallel. Many people use vision boards or phone reminders with affirmations. Some use apps for daily positive messages. These are 21st century auto-suggestion tools. Even something as simple as setting your computer password to a word related to your goal, example, Millionaire 2025, is a form of daily self-suggestion. Hill warns that auto-suggestion works for negative thoughts too. So we must be vigilant. If you constantly say, I can't do this, I'm going to fail, that's auto-suggestion in the wrong direction. Your mind believes what you tell it repeatedly, for better or worse. This is why he later discusses guarding against the 6 ghosts of fear. Fear is often a result of negative suggestions we've absorbed over time, but we can consciously overwrite them with positive ones. Have you ever noticed a song lyric stuck in your head? That's repetition at work. The radio played it 20 times. Now it's lodged in your mind. Autosuggestion is like choosing the song that plays in your head. Instead of some annoying jingle, why not a lyric that says, I've got this? Or, every day, I'm getting better and stronger. Cheesy? Maybe a little. But effective? Yes. Hill even suggests memorizing certain positive passages. For instance, he provides a self-confidence formula in the book, 5 steps to affirm certain things to yourself, including that you have confidence, that you'll persist until you succeed, etc. Reciting such formulas is a way of burning the ideals into your memory. Actionable insights. Applying autosuggestion. Create an affirmation routine. Don't leave it to chance. Set a specific time each day, morning alarm or before bed, for affirmations. During this time, read your written goal statement out loud. Then, speak a few I am statements that embody the qualities you need. Example, I am focused and disciplined. I attract great opportunities. I am confident in meetings. Say them with conviction, as if you are declaring facts. Use triggers in your environment. Leverage technology or notes to yourself. Maybe put a sticky note on your bathroom mirror with a key phrase, I deserve success, or focus on the goal. Or use your phone's wallpaper as a visual reminder of your goal, like a picture of the dream house you want to buy, or the business logo you want to create. These triggers repeatedly suggest your goal to your mind throughout the day. Emotional charge. When reciting or visualizing, really put your heart into it. Hill wrote that mere words are not enough. It's the emotional feeling behind the words that reaches the subconscious. If needed, play a song that fires you up while you do your affirmations. Some people even do power poses or movements while affirming, to generate feeling. Do whatever makes the message feel real to you. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Understand that autosuggestion is not a one-time hack. It's a habit. The effects compound over weeks and months. You might feel silly the first week or two, but stick to it. The real changes often become noticeable after persistent repetition. Just like a muscle strengthens with regular exercise, your mindset strengthens with regular positive input. Cancel negative thoughts. Start practicing thought control. When a negative idea pops up, I'll probably mess up that presentation. Immediately follow it with a deliberate positive suggestion. I am well prepared and I will do great in that presentation. Think of it as hitting a cancel button on the negative and recording a positive over it. This conscious override, done consistently, trains you to default to positive self-talk. With autosuggestion, you're essentially coaching yourself continuously. It's like having a personal trainer for your mind, except you are that trainer. It might feel unusual, but consider the alternative. Letting outside influences program your mind. Advertisements, negative news, pessimistic peers. They're all suggesting things to you all the time. Buy this product to feel good. The economy is awful. You'll never succeed, etc. Autosuggestion is your shield and counterattack. You take control of the narrative in your head. Hill firmly believed that through autosuggestion, any person could develop unshakable faith in themselves. And once you have that, the rest of the journey becomes much easier. So try it out. Be consistent. You'll likely be amazed at how your mindset evolves. Optimism grows, doubts diminish, and you'll start to feel a quiet, powerful certainty about your goals. Chapter 4. Specialized knowledge, personal experiences, or observations. Knowledge is power, as the saying goes. But Napoleon Hill adds a twist. Not all knowledge, only specialized knowledge, intelligently applied, brings power and riches. In Chapter 4, Hill shifts from mindset to a more practical realm. Specialized knowledge means having expertise or specific skills relevant to your purpose. It's not enough to have burning desire and faith if you don't know what you're doing in your chosen field. Think of desire and faith as the engines and specialized knowledge as the steering wheel. It guides your efforts effectively toward your goal. Hill makes an interesting point. Knowledge by itself is not power. It's only potential power. You have to organize it and put it to use towards a definite goal. He gives the example of Henry Ford. Ford's formal education was minimal. He was not what people would call book smart. In fact, journalists once ridiculed him as ignorant, to which Ford responded by saying, paraphrase, that he could hire as many educated men as needed to answer any technical question. What he had was the specialized knowledge of how to organize a business and produce cars efficiently. Ford knew how to apply knowledge. He revolutionized the automobile industry not because he personally knew every engineering detail, but because he mastered the specific knowledge of mass production and business leadership. He also surrounded himself with people who had the specialized knowledge he lacked. The takeaway: general knowledge, even if vast, say you're a walking encyclopedia, isn't as valuable in achieving success as specific knowledge that directly helps you in your pursuit. For example, an aspiring successful chef needs specialized knowledge of cooking techniques, kitchen management, maybe the science of flavors, not necessarily a PhD in literature. A startup founder needs specialized knowledge of their product domain and how to run a business. Knowing a bit of everything about everything won't directly create a market-leading app. In the modern world, this advice rings true. We all know or have heard of extremely educated people, multiple degrees, etc., who struggle financially or feel stuck. Meanwhile, someone with a targeted skill, say coding, copywriting, plumbing, you name it, who knows how to market that skill can achieve great success. Hill isn't knocking formal education. He's simply saying don't fall into the trap of thinking knowledge alone equals success. You need the right knowledge and you must use it. Also, continuous learning is part of this. If you need new knowledge to achieve your goal, go out and acquire it. Hill even suggests taking courses, reading books, finding mentors, the 1937 version of never stop learning. Let's say your goal is to start an online business selling handmade furniture. According to Hill, you should inventory what specialized knowledge you have and what you need. You might be a great woodworker, that's specialized knowledge. But you know nothing about e-commerce or digital marketing. That's a gap. So, you might take an online course on Etsy selling or Shopify setup, or partner with someone who has that knowledge. Hill encourages forming a mastermind alliance, coming up in Chapter 9, partly for this reason to pool knowledge. But individually, he also encourages being proactive. For instance, identify experts or resources and learn from them. Hill himself, in researching this philosophy, sought out hundreds of successful individuals to learn their secrets. He effectively built his specialized knowledge in success principles by studying others. Another example Hill gives: there are many bright young college graduates looking for jobs, but employers value those who have practical knowledge or experience in a relevant field. In his time, he cited examples of how self-made millionaires often had very niche knowledge that they exploited commercially. Think of modern parallels. The tech billionaire who dropped out of college, Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. It wasn't raw knowledge that made them succeed. It was a specific vision and know-how, software development, understanding user needs, etc. Hill also notes that specialized knowledge can be acquired relatively cheaply. You don't need to know everything yourself. You can tap into others' knowledge. If you need knowledge, consult someone who has it or read or attend classes, he says in essence. So this principle also highlights resourcefulness. Don't use lack of knowledge as an excuse. You can always learn or team up with someone who knows. Imagine your goal is a destination. Desire is the engine roaring to go. Faith is your belief you'll get there. Autosuggestion keeps you on course psychologically. But specialized knowledge is the map. Without a map, you might drive in circles enthusiastically. With the right map, you channel your energy in the correct direction. Actionable insights, applying specialized knowledge. Number 1. Identify required skills/knowledge. Break down your goal and list the key areas of knowledge or skill you'll need to accomplish it. Be honest with yourself. What do you not know yet that is crucial for success? This clarity will prevent wandering in the dark. Number 2. Make a learning plan. For each knowledge gap, decide how you'll fill it. Will you take an online course? Find a mentor or coach? Read specific books? For example, if your goal is to open a bakery and you have great baking skills but no business background, plan to learn about small business accounting and marketing, maybe by evening classes or apprenticing under a successful bakery owner. Schedule time for acquiring this knowledge just as seriously as you schedule work. Number 3. Leverage free/easily available resources. We live in an age of unprecedented access to information. Use it. Podcasts, YouTube tutorials, library books, forums, or you can gain a lot of specialized know-how without spending a fortune. Hill would likely say today, take advantage of this bounty of knowledge, but stay focused on the relevant information. It's easy to drown in data. Keep it mission-focused. Number 4. Who has what you lack? Consider forming your own mastermind group or at least a network. Who in your circle or extended network has expertise you don't? Invite them to coffee. Ask them questions. Many people love to share advice. If you can, offer something in return, even if it's just enthusiasm or assistance in your area of strength. This not only helps you learn faster, it also could create partnerships. Number 5. Stay current and adapt. Specialized knowledge can become obsolete. Just ask anyone in tech. Commit to lifelong learning in your field. Set Google alerts, read industry blogs, attend workshops. Being on the cutting edge can give you an advantage. Hill wrote this long ago, but the principle is timeless. The most successful people continue educating themselves throughout their life. By turning knowledge into action, you become what Hill calls an educated person in the truest sense, not someone who has memorized facts, but someone who knows where to find the information they need and how to organize it into a plan. You don't have to know everything. You just need to know the important things and have the ability to get the rest when required. One inspiring modern story. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, started with no experience in fashion or business. Her specialized knowledge was actually in sales. She sold fax machines and an idea about footless pantyhose. She researched, asked manufacturers dumb questions until she learned the textile knowledge, and constantly educated herself on business as she grew her company. She famously said her lack of fashion background was a strength, because she wasn't bogged down by industry rules. Instead, she focused on exactly what she needed to create her product and sell it. So, don't be intimidated if you feel underqualified right now. Identify what you need to learn and begin. In Hill's words, knowledge has no value except that which can be gained from its application toward some worthy end. Focus your learning toward your worthy end. That's specialized knowledge in a nutshell. Chapter 5. Imagination, the workshop of the mind. Now we enter the realm of imagination, the workshop of the mind, as Hill calls it. This is where all plans are formed. It's a delightful chapter because it reminds us that every invention, fortune, or achievement began as an idea. Hill boldly states, ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. And where do ideas come from? Imagination. Hill describes two forms of imagination: synthetic imagination and creative imagination. Don't get lost in the terms. Here's the simple difference. Synthetic imagination. This is when you rearrange existing ideas, concepts, or plans into new combinations. You're basically remixing knowledge. Most innovations are a result of synthetic imagination, taking something that exists and tweaking or combining it into something different. Think of a chef creating a new dish by combining known ingredients in a clever way, or an entrepreneur who takes an existing business model and applies it to a different industry. Creative imagination. This is what Hill describes as our direct line to infinite intelligence, or the realm of truly original ideas. It's where hunches and inspirations flash from seemingly nowhere. This is a bit mystical in Hill's presentation. He suggests that through intense desire and the subconscious, we sometimes tap into a higher source of creativity. Some might simply call it the subconscious processing info in the background. When this faculty is active, new, groundbreaking ideas can emerge. Think of Einstein visualizing riding a beam of light and conceiving relativity, or Mozart hearing whole symphonies in his head. Whether you view creative imagination as divine inspiration or just brainpower, the message is clear. Imagination is crucial to success. It's how you transform desire into action plans. Without imagination, desire would just burn chaotically. With imagination, you channel that energy into concrete plans and innovations. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, whom Hill references often. Edison had a burning desire to create a practical electric light. Through imagination, he formulated countless experiments to test. Each failure, and there were thousands, spurred new ideas. What if I try a different filament material? What if I remove oxygen from the bulb? That's synthetic imagination at work, using known elements, materials, vacuum pumps, electricity, in new combinations until one glowed without burning out. Carbonized bamboo filament. Edison also had flashes of creative insight, but he famously said, "Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration." That perspiration was guided by imaginative experimentation. Hill urges us to exercise our imaginations like a muscle. In 1937, he noted many people never truly use their imagination constructively. They stick to routine, afraid to dream or deviate. But every great enterprise begins as a fantasy before it becomes reality. Think of the Wright brothers imagining humans in flight when people laughed at the idea. Or, more recently, someone like Elon Musk imagining a reusable rocket that lands itself, SpaceX, or a network of electric cars on the road, Tesla. These were fanciful visions until relentless planning and action, guided by imagination, made them real. Another point, imagination solves problems. When you face obstacles, engaging your creativity can reveal solutions that pure logic might miss. Hill's advice when plans fail: make new plans. That requires imagining a different approach. He gives examples of entrepreneurs who had to pivot. One famous example from the book is a guy named Oscar Barnett who created a steel business not by inventing new steel, but by creatively repurposing processes. He also tells the story of a teacher who lost her job and then used imagination to create a new career for herself, marketing her teaching skills in a novel way. The specifics matter less than the principle. There is always another way if you can think of it. That's where imagination shines. Now, some people might think, I'm not creative. I can't paint or write music. But everyone has imagination. It might just be underutilized. Hill would say, start using it. How? One way is through visualization, which we already discussed under faith, seeing your success. Another way is brainstorming, allowing your mind to freely generate ideas without judging them immediately. Hill's concept of creative imagination implies also being open to intuition, those gut feelings or sudden inspirations. Have you ever had a great idea while showering or walking? That's your creative imagination at play when your conscious mind relaxes. Actionable insights, applying imagination. Number 1. Daily brainstorming session. Set aside even 10 to 15 minutes in a quiet spot to just think creatively about your goal or any problem you're facing. Write down every idea or solution that pops into your head, no matter how wild. Don't censor yourself during this brainstorm. Often the outrageous ideas contain a seed that can be shaped into a practical solution. For example, if sales are slow at your business, brainstorming might yield ideas from hire a skywriter to advertise to create a referral program with big incentives. Who knows, a toned-down version of the skywriter idea, like a viral social media stunt, might be gold. Number 2. Use what-if scenarios. A great imagination exercise is asking what-if questions. What if I had to achieve my goal in half the time? How would I do it? What if I had $100 million to solve this problem? What would I try? What if I had to do it with zero money? What then? By shifting constraints in your mind, you force your imagination to come up with new approaches. Some of these approaches, scaled to your reality, could be very effective. Number 3, mind mapping. This is a visual technique where you start with a central idea, your goal or problem, and draw branches to sub-ideas and further branches from those. It's a free-flow, non-linear way to capture ideas connected to each other. Mind maps can spark connections you hadn't realized. For instance, you might have one branch for marketing ideas and another for customer pain points. Where they intersect might reveal a perfect slogan or product feature. Number 4, cultivate creative habits. Simple changes in routine can boost imagination. Take a different route to work, try a new hobby, expose yourself to diverse experiences. The more raw material your mind has, the more connections it can form. Hill's synthetic imagination needs pieces to synthesize. So feed your brain with books, conversations, art, travel, anything outside your usual bubble. Some of the greatest breakthroughs come when an idea from one field is applied to another, like how biological systems inspired network engineers, etc. Number 5, practice visualization in detail. Beyond just seeing end goals, use imagination to mentally rehearse entire scenarios. If you have an important negotiation, imagine various turns the conversation could take and how you might respond creatively. Athletes do this with games, but you can do it with business or personal goals. This kind of scenario planning in your mind can reveal strategies and also make you more prepared. It's essentially imagining the future in advance so you can shape it. Hill sometimes refers to the imagination as the workshop where you fashion plans. So try to envision your mind as a literal workshop or studio. You have raw materials, your knowledge, your desires scattered about. Imagination is the process of cutting, refitting, combining those materials into something useful, a plan, a product, a strategy. If one design doesn't work, you sketch another. No artist creates a masterpiece without rough drafts. So allow yourself to draft and redraft your plans. Use your synthetic imagination to tweak existing ideas, and your creative imagination to dream up new ones when needed. Remember the saying, if you do what you always did, you'll get what you always got. Imagination is what allows you to do something different, to innovate. It might feel risky to trust a bold new idea, but that's often where success lives, just beyond the conventional. Hill's own journey writing this book was imaginative. He took success principles, not a new concept, but packaged them in a unique way with stories and steps, essentially creating one of the first self-improvement Bibles that took foresight and creativity in itself. So dare to imagine. Even if people label you a dreamer, every achiever was a dreamer first. Walt Disney was literally called the man who built the world out of dreams. He once said, "It's kind of fun to do the impossible. That's imagination, making the impossible possible." Chapter 6, Organized Planning, the Crystallization of Desire into Action. We've ignited desire, fortified it with faith, programmed our minds through autosuggestion, gathered knowledge, and generated ideas with imagination. Now it's time for organized planning, where all that inner work turns into real-world action. Hill calls this the crystallization of desire into action. In simpler terms, this is where you make a practical plan to achieve your goal and start executing it. Having a goal without a plan is like trying to build a house without a blueprint. You end up with a pile of materials and no structure. So, Chapter 6 is very actionable. Hill says make a plan, any plan, and put it into action. If it fails, learn and make a new plan. There's an emphasis that the plan doesn't have to be perfect. You can adjust it on the fly. But you must have something to guide your efforts day to day. He provides a series of steps and even a system for people seeking a new job or opportunity, since in the Depression era many were jobless. For instance, he suggests forming a mastermind group to create your plan, and then being persistent in carrying it out. He also details leadership qualities and the importance of intelligent cooperation. A lot of this chapter reads like a business management guide. It's about practical leadership and execution. One key point: temporary defeat is not failure. If your first plan doesn't work, replace it with a new plan, and keep trying until one does work. This is important. Many people, as soon as their initial plan flops, they interpret it as "I failed" and give up on the goal itself. Hill says the only real failure is when you stop planning and stop trying. Persistence, a whole chapter on that later, is intertwined with organized planning. Think of how many prototypes James Dyson went through for his vacuum, over 5,000 prototypes. Or how many times Colonel Sanders heard no from restaurants before one agreed to try his chicken recipe. These folks had to revise their plans repeatedly. So what does an organized plan look like for you? It can be as simple as a to-do list for the week that aligns with your bigger goal, or as complex as a formal business plan with goals, strategies, and timelines. The scale of the plan should match the scale of the goal. Hill advised creating a definite plan and writing it out. For example, if your goal is to write a book, your organized plan could include research phase, timeline and tasks, chapter-by-chapter writing schedule, daily word count targets, and a plan for approaching publishers or self-publishing, etc. If your goal is to get fit and healthy, an organized plan might be specific workout schedule, meal plan, and perhaps a tracking system for progress. Hill also stresses the importance of taking initiative and being decisive in carrying out plans. Successful people, he notes, reach decisions quickly and change them slowly, if at all, whereas unsuccessful people do the opposite. So once you have a plan, commit to it. Don't waffle every day on what to do. That wastes energy and undermines your confidence. He also lists leadership qualities, like unwavering courage, a pleasing personality, cooperation, etc., and common causes of failure for leaders. Why? Because whether you're leading a team or just leading yourself, these factors affect execution of plans. For instance, lack of discipline or procrastination, a common failure cause, can wreck the best-laid plan. So organized planning also means organizing yourself, your habits, your time management, your team, if you have one, to carry out the plan. Actionable insights, applying organized planning. Number 1. Draft your plan on paper. Take your goal and write out the specific plan for achieving it. Include what resources are needed, time, money, help from others, and break the plan into steps or phases. Make sure to assign timeframes or deadlines to each step. This creates accountability. Even if you don't meet every deadline, having them keeps you moving. For example, Step 1. Complete training course by March. Step 2. Launch prototype by June, etc. Number 2. Prioritize and tackle key tasks first. An organized plan isn't just a long list of tasks. It should be prioritized. Hill would likely agree with the Pareto principle. 20% of the tasks might yield 80% of the results. Figure out which actions are most crucial to advancing your plan and do those first. Each day, identify your MITs, most important tasks, that align with your plan, and ensure those get done before the minor stuff. Number 3, assemble your team or support system. If your plan requires help, identify who can assist and in what capacity. This could be formal, business partners, employees, or informal, your spouse keeping you accountable, a friend with expertise giving advice. Organize your mastermind group, people who will work with you or encourage you. Assign roles if it's a team project. Clarity in who does what is part of organized planning. Number 4, be flexible, review and revise. Set periodic checkpoints, say monthly, to review your plan's progress. Ask, am I on track? What's working, what's not? Don't be afraid to adjust the plan based on real-world feedback. This isn't abandoning the goal. It's iterating the approach. Keep the goal fixed and flexible with the plan. Have that plan B, C, D mentality that Hill advocates. If one route is blocked, chart another course, but never lose sight of the destination. Number 5, cultivate execution habits. A plan is only as good as one's ability to execute it. So work on habits that help execution. Daily routines, time management techniques, like time blocking or Pomodoro, and personal discipline. Hill emphasized organized planning, implying structure and order. Perhaps use tools, apps, or planners to stay organized. Maybe start your week by planning out key actions for each day. The more routine you build around implementing your plan, the less willpower it takes to act, it becomes habit. An organized plan also gives you confidence. It's easier to have faith when you can see a roadmap in front of you. Even if conditions change, you know you can adjust the map. Hill notes that persistent, intelligent effort is key. Intelligent implies you're not just working hard, but planning smart. Consider a general going into battle. Hill liked war analogies common in his time. The general may have overwhelming desire to win and confidence, faith. But without a battle plan, his troops will scatter. He strategizes, plans supply lines, flanking maneuvers. If one tactic fails, he adapts. Treat your goal like a campaign. Plan your campaign, then execute relentlessly. Another example, launching a new product. Companies that succeed don't just build something and hope. They do market research, plan a launch strategy, distribution, marketing blitz, all coordinated, organized efforts. When Apple launches a new iPhone, every aspect is planned, from the keynote presentation to the store displays to the supply chain ramp-up. That's organized planning on a large scale, but the principle holds even if your goal is personal like graduating college. You plan your course schedule, study times, etc. Hill provides also a list of the 30 major causes of failure after the organized planning chapter. Things like lack of persistence, lack of a well-defined purpose, procrastination, lack of focus, etc. It's worth glancing at these in the book because they basically warn, here's what can derail your plan. Use those as a checklist to strengthen your plan and your personal performance. At this stage of Think and Grow Rich, you should see how the pieces interact. Your desire fuels you, faith propels you, autosuggestion keeps your mind focused, knowledge arms you, imagination sparks innovative plans, and organized planning channels everything into concrete action. You are, as Hill might say, knocking on the door of success now. The next chapters will ensure you keep knocking until that door opens, with traits like decision and persistence. Let's keep going. Your plan is only as good as your ability to decide and persist with it. Chapter 7, Decision, the Mastery of Procrastination. Chapter 7, Decision, is all about one simple but critical habit: making up your mind quickly and firmly. Napoleon Hill's research found that successful people reach decisions promptly and change them, if at all, very slowly. In contrast, those who fail to achieve tend to be indecisive or change decisions frequently. He calls indecision the seedling of fear. If imagination gave us ideas and planning gave us a roadmap, decision is the moment we either commit to action or let the opportunity slip by. Hill minced no words about procrastination. He refers to it as a common enemy lurking to steal our chances. Think about it. How often do we know what we should do, but we hesitate? Maybe out of fear, maybe waiting for more information, maybe just inertia. Hill challenges us to cultivate decisiveness. This doesn't mean being reckless. It means that once you have the necessary facts, not every fact in the universe, just enough to make an informed call, have the courage to decide. Don't linger in limbo. Limbo is where dreams die slowly. He cites the famous Andrew Carnegie as an example. Carnegie built a steel empire because he made decisions swiftly and stuck to them. If a decision proved wrong, Carnegie would learn and pivot, but he wouldn't second-guess endlessly. Hill also references the U.S. Declaration of Independence signers. They reached the monumental decision to break from Britain, risking their lives. That was decisive, and talk about commitment. On a more personal level, consider everyday decisions. Choosing a career path, whether to start that business, whether to approach that investor, whether to follow your plan or revise it. Being decisive doesn't guarantee every decision is correct, but it gets you moving. A mediocre decision with action is often better than a perfect decision that never gets made. Let's say you've got an organized plan to start a side hustle. A big decision looms. Do you formally register the business and invest some savings into it? The indecisive person hems and haws. Maybe I should wait. What if I lose money? Maybe more research. Oh look, a new Netflix series. 2 months later, nothing's changed. The decisive person says, I've studied enough. I have a reasonable plan. I'm going for it. They sign the papers, open a business account, start selling. Maybe it goes great, maybe it falters. But either way, they're learning and progressing while the procrastinator is stuck in wishland. Hill suggests a practical way to build decisiveness. Stop asking everyone for advice on what you should do. Often we seek validation or avoidance by polling many people. While counsel from a trusted few is wise, too many opinions breed confusion. Ultimately, you must make up your own mind and trust yourself. Successful people have a tendency to be sure of what they want. They listen to advice selectively, but they do not let outside noise or fear of criticism sway them from decisions once made. He actually lists fear of criticism as a big reason people avoid decisions. We worry what others will think if we make a bold choice and it doesn't pan out. Overcome that, Hill says. Be independent in thought. The great decisions of your life must be made by you, not by committee. A good example, Jeff Bezos often talks about regret minimization. When he decided to leave a high-paying Wall Street job to start Amazon, it was a risky decision. He used a decision framework. Imagine yourself at 80, will you regret not trying this? That made his decision clear. Yes, he'd regret not trying, so he went for it. He also distinguishes between Type 1 and Type 2 decisions. Some decisions are irreversible. Type 1, decide carefully but still don't over-delay. And many are reversible. Type 2, decide quickly. You can adjust if needed. Most daily choices are reversible to some extent, so just decide and iterate. This modern approach aligns well with Hill's point. Don't let indecision paralyze you. Actionable insights, applying decision. Number 1, set deadlines for decisions. If you have a pending decision, big or small, assign yourself a firm deadline to decide and stick to it. For instance, I will decide by Friday whether to accept the job offer. Or by end of this month, I'll choose which product idea to pursue. A deadline forces you to gather info and then choose, rather than letting it drag on endlessly. Number 2, limit information overload. Identify the key information or criteria needed to make the decision and collect that. No more, no less. Recognize when additional information stops adding value and starts just being an excuse to delay. For example, if choosing between 2 colleges, compare costs, programs, campus vibe, maybe via a visit. Once you have those core details, go with your gut. Don't drown in forums and rankings for months. Number 3, trust your intuition. Once informed, Hill's emphasis on creative imagination suggests that sometimes our subconscious/gut knows what's best for us, especially after we've consciously weighed the facts. Practice listening to that inner voice. If logic says choice A and your gut screams choice B, take a moment. Is it fear speaking or true intuition? Many successful decisions come from a mix of data and instinct. Don't ignore one or the other. Number 4, overcome fear of mistakes. Reframe how you see wrong decisions. Rather than fearing them, accept that not every decision will be right, and that's okay. You can correct course. Hill reminds us that failure is often temporary. Make decisions with the best intentions and info you have. If it goes wrong, you'll handle it. This mindset reduces the paralysis. Action beats inaction. You learn and move on. Number 5, practice with small decisions. If you struggle with decisiveness, train yourself on low-stakes choices. Next time you're picking a restaurant or what movie to watch, decide quickly and stick with it. Number 30 minutes of scrolling options. Gradually, you'll build confidence in your decision-making muscle. Then apply that to bigger things, like deciding on a business strategy or a financial move, by setting a clear yes/no and making the call. One of Hill's famous lines, tell the world what you intend to do, but show it first. Successful people let their results speak. They aren't swayed by outside opinions during the decision/action phase. So when you decide, follow through and let your success make the noise. For example, instead of endlessly discussing, I'm thinking of starting a podcast, the decisive person quietly starts recording episodes. Before long, they have a podcast while the talker is still just talking about it. It's also worth noting Hill's perspective. Every one of the 500 wealthy individuals he studied had the habit of reaching decisions promptly. This is a striking common denominator. Think of any high achiever. You'll notice they are men and women of action. They seize opportunity windows because they act while others deliberate too long. One more nuance. Being decisive doesn't mean never changing course. It means you don't flip-flop for trivial reasons or at the whim of others. But if new conditions clearly demand a change, you make another firm decision to adjust. That's still decisive behavior. Indecisiveness is when you can't commit or keep second-guessing yourself back and forth without solid reasons. In your journey to grow rich or achieve any goal, there will be many crossroads. Some people stand at the crossroads until the road disappears. Don't let that be you. Take Hill's advice. Master the art of prompt decision. It will propel you out of analysis paralysis into the world of momentum. Chapter 8. Persistence, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. If decision gets you started, persistence keeps you going. Hill devotes Chapter 8 to this absolutely vital principle. Persistence, the ability to maintain action even in the face of obstacles or discouragement. He writes, persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. In other words, it's the hardening element that turns soft iron into unbreakable steel. Without persistence, most people will give up at the first signs of adversity and thus never see success, even if they have all the other principles in place. By this point in the book, Hill assumes you have desire, faith, imagination, plans, etc. But can you keep it up? Life will test you, that's a given. Hill says the hidden guide, perhaps fate or the universe, tests individuals through adversities to see if they deserve success. Those who persist get to capitalize on defeat and often find a way to succeed right after things seem darkest. He famously notes that quitters never win and winners never quit. One of the most famous stories illustrating persistence from Think and Grow Rich is the story of R.U. Darby and his uncle in the gold rush. They found a vein of gold in Colorado, invested in machinery to mine it, and initially struck ore. But soon the vein seemed to dry up. They kept drilling a bit more, then lost hope. They sold the equipment to a junk man and quit. That junk man, however, was shrewd. He called in a mining engineer to examine the mine. The engineer found that the original vein hadn't dried up. It was displaced by a fault line, and the gold would be found just 3 feet from where Darby and his uncle stopped drilling. Sure enough, the junk man struck one of the richest gold deposits, becoming fabulously wealthy. Darby learned a hard lesson. He quit 3 feet from gold. Importantly, Darby vowed never to quit again in life and later made millions by persistently selling life insurance. The point: many people give up right when success is just around the corner. Hill gives multiple examples of legendary persistence. Thomas Edison again, 10,000 experiments to invent the light bulb. When asked about failing 10,000 times, he said, "I didn't fail, I found 10,000 ways that don't work." Howard Schultz, not in Hill's book obviously, but modern example, was turned down by banks 200+ times when trying to finance Starbucks, but he persisted. Colonel Sanders, KFC founder, pitched his chicken recipe over 1,000 times before a restaurant accepted it, all in his mid-60s. These stories endure because persistence is often the only thing separating those who eventually succeed from those who don't. Now, persistence is easier if backed by some of the earlier principles. Burning desire naturally fosters persistence. If you want something badly, you'll endure more to get it. Faith also feeds persistence. If you truly believe, you won't quit because you know it's possible. Autosuggestion can strengthen persistence by hammering positive thoughts when you feel like quitting. An organized plan gives you concrete steps to keep following. And the support of a mastermind group, Chapter 9, can encourage you to press on. So, Hill shows that all these steps are interrelated. Still, even with all that, the lack of persistence is incredibly common. We all feel moments where quitting seems easier. Hill says, most people are ready to throw in the towel at the first sign of opposition. How do we become the minority that persists? He outlines 4 simple steps to develop persistence. 1. A definite purpose backed by burning desire, we have that. 2. A definite plan expressed in continuous action, we have that. 3. A mind closed tightly against negative and discouraging influences, i.e., don't listen to naysayers or your own fears. 4. A friendly alliance with one or more persons who encourage you, mastermind. If you tick these 4, persistence will come naturally, Hill claims. Let's get real, persistence is hard. There will be days you doubt yourself deeply, when everything seems to go wrong, when progress is painfully slow. In those moments, remember why you started, reread your desire statement, rekindle that initial fire. Remember that every setback carries a seed of equal or greater benefit. Hill asserts this. Often our failures teach us something crucial or open a new door. Ask yourself, if I quit now, will I be closer to or further from my goal? The answer's obvious. Quitting means zero chance of success. Persisting means some chance. Also, sometimes persistence means adapting. It doesn't mean doing the exact same failing thing over and over blindly. It means not giving up on the goal. You might persist by changing your strategy, getting more knowledge, adjusting your plan, but you keep marching toward that goal. Hill distinguishes between persistent determination and stubbornness. Be persistent about the end goal but flexible in the means. Actionable insights. Applying persistence. Number 1. Build persistence gradually. Like a muscle, start with small commitments and follow through. If you decide to exercise 15 minutes every day, do it even when you don't feel like it. That practice of not breaking a promise to yourself strengthens your persistence for bigger tasks. Prove to yourself that you can stick with things. Number 2. Use reminders of your why. Keep symbols of your goal around you to remind why it's worth pushing through difficulty. If your goal is to graduate college, hang the picture of someone in a cap and gown you admire, or a note that says, "Doctor, your name," on your mirror. When tired or discouraged, these reminders can reignite your desire, fueling your persistence. Number 3. Anticipate obstacles. Make a list of potential challenges that could arise: loss of motivation, financial setback, criticism from others, etc. And next to each, write a strategy for dealing with it. This way, when it happens, you have a pre-planned response. It's mentally easier to persist if you're not blindsided. For instance, if sales are slow in first 3 months, I will double marketing efforts and seek advice from Mentor X before considering any pivot. Number 4. Stay away from naysayers. Identify if there are people in your life who often discourage or belittle your efforts. While you can't always remove all negativity, try to limit its influence. Politely avoid sharing your aspirations too much with those who only criticize. Instead, surround yourself with positive, like-minded folks who lift you up when you're down. A supportive friend's encouragement on a bad day can be the difference between pushing on or giving up. Number 5. Reframe failures as lessons. Develop the habit of immediately extracting a lesson from every failure or setback. Ask, what is this trying to teach me? How can I use this? Writing down lessons learned will shift your mind from feeling defeated to feeling educated. It changes the narrative from, "I failed," to, "I learned X and will apply it moving forward." This mindset makes it easier to persist because you see value in the struggle. Hill writes, before success comes in any man's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and, perhaps, some failure. When defeat overtakes a person, the easiest and most logical thing to do is to quit. That's what the majority does. But we are not the majority. We are aiming to be the successful minority. So when you meet your next defeat, remember, it's temporary. You can outlast it. Think of persistence as simply hanging on 5 minutes longer than the problem. Problems eventually tire out. If you keep standing, you'll find the problem gone and you're still there, moving ahead. One more story. There's that image often shared of 2 miners digging underground. One turning away just short of a cache of diamonds, while the other keeps at it and gets them. Persistence is the virtue of the second miner. Hill's own son Blair, from the Faith chapter, is a testament. Imagine if Hill gave up on trying to help his son here after one doctor said, hopeless. Because he persisted, he eventually found a solution, a hearing device and training, that worked. Persistence is self-belief in action. It's you telling the world, I will not be denied my success. When you carry that energy, you also inspire others around you. They see your determination and often doors open because people want to help someone who clearly will not quit. It's attractive and magnetic to be persistent and determined. So, draw on your desire, intensify your faith, and resolve that you will persist no matter what. As Hill states, victory is nearest when defeat seems inevitable. Don't stop 3 feet from gold. You might be inches away from your breakthrough. Chapter 9, Power of the Mastermind, the Driving Force. Up to now, many steps have been about personal effort. But Napoleon Hill knew the journey to success is not a lone trek. It's often a team sport. Chapter 9 introduces the power of the mastermind, which Hill defines as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. In simpler terms, a mastermind group is a support network of people who share your goals or at least support your goals, and together you form a sort of brain trust that is greater than the sum of its parts. Hill claims that when minds meet in harmony, a third mind, a mastermind, is created, with more energy and insight. This might sound esoteric, but think of any great collaboration. The Wright brothers together solved flight, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak together created Apple. Each brought different knowledge and perspective, and together they achieved something either likely couldn't alone. Hill even suggests this third mind might tap into a universal intelligence, but whether or not you buy that, the practical benefit is clear. A group can inspire, encourage, and complete each other's knowledge. Importantly, Hill stresses harmony. The mastermind doesn't work if the group is full of conflict or ego clashes. It requires like-mindedness and trust. When you have that, the mastermind group can be your greatest asset. They will pick you up when you fall, offer solutions you never thought of, and hold you accountable. He actually touches on this earlier when talking about specialized knowledge and persistence. Having a friendly alliance of people who will advise and encourage you is essential. Here he formalizes it. Choose your alliances carefully. He advises to surround yourself with a group, could be small, even 1 to 2 others, who have knowledge or skills you lack and/or the same drive and positive mental attitude. Meet regularly, share ideas and challenges openly. Hill also notes that economic advantage can be a reason for masterminds. Companies form boards, entrepreneurs have co-founders, writers have clubs. Often, fortunes are built by a team. Even great geniuses had inner circles. Henry Ford had Thomas Edison and others as close friends exchanging ideas, a sort of mastermind of inventors. Consider Napoleon Hill himself. He didn't create this philosophy in a vacuum. He spent years masterminding with successful men via interviews and mentorship. Andrew Carnegie became something of a mentor/mastermind partner who opened doors for Hill. Carnegie essentially gave Hill a mastermind network by referring him to other giants of industry. In modern days, you might recognize concepts like peer mentorship groups or business mastermind meetups that are directly inspired by Hill's ideas. Entrepreneurs often form mastermind groups to bounce strategies off each other, share resources, and push each other to higher goals. For example, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have been close friends for decades, different industries, but they often credit their discussions with helping shape their thinking. Buffett introduced Gates to philanthropic strategies, etc. That's a kind of mastermind synergy at a high level. Another aspect Hill mentions: no one has infinite knowledge or energy alone. By allying with others, you effectively borrow their mind power. It's like having extra battery packs when yours runs low. If you're discouraged, a mastermind partner's enthusiasm can reignite you. If you're stuck on a problem, another's idea might solve it in an instant, saving you weeks of struggle. He also distinguishes between a mastermind for knowledge, brain trust, and one for spiritual or psychic benefit. He touches on a concept of blending minds energetically. The latter might be interpreted as just the motivational energy you get from working with motivated people. Feels almost electric when a team clicks, doesn't it? That's the driving force he's talking about. Actionable insights. Building your mastermind. Number 1, choose members wisely. Identify 1 to 5 people who could be ideal for a mutual support group. Look for complementary skills, shared values, and ambition. They don't all have to be in your exact field. Sometimes diversity brings great new ideas, but they should be success-oriented and positive. Importantly, choose people who want to participate. The spirit of harmony matters. Invite them to form a mastermind alliance and explain the concept and benefits. Number 2, establish regular meetings. Treat your mastermind like an important appointment. Meet, or at least video conference or call, on a regular schedule, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, whatever keeps momentum. In these meetings, each person can share updates, wins, current challenges, upcoming goals. The group can brainstorm solutions, offer contacts or resources, and hold each other accountable for progress by next meeting. Make sure everyone gets roughly equal time, to maintain harmony and value. Number 3, set collective goals or themes. It may help to have a central goal or theme that unites the mastermind. For example, if it's a fitness mastermind, everyone's striving for personal records. If it's a business startup mastermind, maybe the theme is grow our revenue 10x this year collectively. That unity of purpose strengthens the bond. Though each will have individual objectives, a shared overarching challenge can boost solidarity. Number 4, total honesty and support. In a mastermind, pride and fear of embarrassment should be left at the door. Encourage open, honest communication. If you're struggling or made a mistake, share it candidly. Others can only help if they know the real issues. Likewise, celebrate each other's successes wholeheartedly. No jealousy. Mastermind should be a safe zone where everyone can brainstorm wildly, admit fears, and know they'll be supported, not judged. If any member consistently brings negativity or ridicule, address it or remove that friction. It will poison the well. Number 5, leverage each other's networks. One huge benefit of a mastermind, you effectively multiply your network. Your associates might know people, mentors, or potential partners you don't. Be generous in making introductions for each other. Oh, you need an app developer? I have a friend. Let me connect you. This pay-it-forward attitude expands opportunities for all. Over time, each member might gain access to the combined networks of the whole group. That's extremely powerful, like how Carnegie's network benefited Hill. If you currently don't have such a network, don't be shy to form one. You might be surprised, people are often looking for deeper connections and support too. By being the one to initiate, you're demonstrating leadership, which also elevates your stature in others' eyes. Even an accountability buddy that you check in with daily or weekly can be a mini mastermind. Hill also says that being part of a mastermind can increase your brain capacity by tapping into the group's collective intellect and vibration. It's like having multiple processors working on the same goal, far more processing power than one brain alone. Keep in mind, mastermind doesn't have to mean formal business partners, though it can. It could be you and a colleague regularly sharing knowledge, or a study group in school, or an online forum group that meets on Zoom. The key is synergy in knowledge plus harmony. In short, success loves company, the right company. When you align yourself with other driven, resourceful individuals, you create a momentum wave that carries everyone higher. Hill believed that no individual has ever achieved great power or success without leveraging the mastermind principle, whether they called it that or not. Look at any major successful person. You'll find mentors, teams, allies behind them. So, ask yourself, who are my allies? If you haven't cultivated them yet, that's now part of your plan. As Hill might put it, no man can become rich without enriching others. The mastermind is a way for everyone to enrich each other's lives with ideas, encouragement, and yes, even materially as businesses and opportunities blossom from the collaboration. Chapter 10, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation, Redirecting Creative Energy. Now we come to one of the most intriguingly titled chapters, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. Don't let the title throw you. Hill isn't getting lurid. He's making a psychological point. Transmutation means transforming or redirecting something into a different form. So, sex transmutation is about channeling sexual energy into creative and productive outlets. Hill observed that many of the most successful people had a high sex drive, but they learned to harness the drive rather than let it dissipate purely in physical gratification. He argued that the human libido is one of our most potent energies. Biologically, think of what people will do for love, passion, lust. If that raw creative urge, because biologically it's the urge to create life, can be redirected towards other creative endeavors, building a business, art, invention, it becomes a powerful driving force. He literally called sex energy the creative energy of all geniuses. This might sound a bit abstract or pseudoscientific, but consider. When someone is passionately in love or sexually charged, they often feel unstoppable, full of vigor, confident. Hill suggests using that increased vitality and emotional intensity to fuel your work and ambition. He's not saying suppress or ignore sexuality. He saw it as healthy and important. Rather, Don't let it control you or distract you from your goals. Instead, sublimate some of it into your ambition. He even lists historically that many great men had strong romantic partners or muses that spurred them to achieve. The emotion of love, mixed with the energy of sex, he considered an unbeatable combination that can drive men and women to superhuman efforts. For example, think of how many songs, poems, monuments were inspired by love or heartbreak, creative output fueled by sexual/emotional energy. The Taj Mahal exists because of love and grief. Beethoven wrote passionate music, some inspired by his immortal beloved. In business, you hear sometimes, behind every great man is a great woman, and vice versa. A supportive partnership can focus one's energies positively. So how do we apply this concept without getting too mystical? One way is to see sex transmutation as channeling your passions into your work. It's about emotional alchemy, turning sexual drive into drive to succeed. If you find yourself obsessing or distracted by sexual urges or infatuations in a way that hampers your progress, consider redirecting that intensity. Some tips from Hill's era included pouring yourself into work, creative hobbies, or exercise as a relief valve. Today, one might think of harnessing that restless energy by doubling down on your project when you feel it. It's also about inspiration from love. If you have a significant other or even an unrequited love, use that as motivation. I want to become my best self, for them or so I can be deserving of them. Many people have glowed up, improved themselves, because of a crush or wanting to impress someone. If it works and it causes you to read more, hit the gym, push for that promotion, then that sexual energy has been transmuted into self-improvement. Hill also advises that one's creative imagination is most receptive when stimulated by strong desire, and sexual desire is among the strongest. He believed people become more magnetically attractive, not just physically, but their personality charisma, when they learn to express but control their sexual nature. It adds to what he calls a positive personality vibe that others pick up on, a sort of confidence and allure. Actionable insights. Applying sex transmutation energy channeling. Number 1, be mindful of your passions. Acknowledge that sexual energy, desire, attraction, even romantic love, is a potent force in you. Instead of letting it be a mere distraction or indulgence, consciously decide to also funnel it towards your goals. For instance, if you're especially energized due to a new romance or even sexual frustration, hit your workbench or studio or office with that extra fire. Notice if your output has more creativity or intensity. It often will. Number 2, engage in creative outlets. When feeling those strong urges or emotions, have a creative outlet at hand. Write in a journal, compose music, brainstorm ideas for your business. Channel emotions into creativity. Some of the best works of art and solutions to problems come when emotion is high. Next time you miss someone you love, instead of just moping, try to create something out of that longing. Maybe a heartfelt business pitch, or a design for something meaningful. Sounds odd, but it works as emotional fuel. Number 3, cultivate a loving support relationship. If you have a partner, involve them in your journey to success, to the extent possible. Their love and encouragement can amplify your ambition. Knowing you have someone rooting for you can transmute into greater persistence and courage. Also, the fulfillment from a healthy sex/love life can translate into confidence and positivity in all areas. Hill argued that men often hit their stride after 40 because they matured in understanding love/sex by then. Nowadays, we can aim to integrate this energy sooner by being aware. Number 4, avoid energy drains. On the flip side, be careful of situations where sexual pursuits might drain your energy or focus excessively. Example, chasing flings, pornography addiction, or toxic relationships. These can sap the very energy that could be powering your success. By practicing some self-discipline, not celibacy per se, but moderation and channeling, you keep more of your life force available for creative endeavors. For example, a night of working on your dream might serve you better than a night of bar hopping, looking for casual hookups. Balance short-term pleasure versus long-term fulfillment. Number 4, leverage emotional states. Recognize when you are in a highly emotional state, jealousy, passion, love, even sexual tension. At that moment, try an experiment. Do the task you've been meaning to do with that emotional charge in you. You might find you work faster or come up with novel ideas. Afterward, note what happened. Over time, you can train yourself to almost flip feelings of arousal or heartache into triggers to hustle on your goals. Think, I'll show them, or let me build something amazing with this energy. This chapter can be tricky to discuss, but the core message is, our emotions and biological drives carry immense energy. Use it, don't waste it. Hill noticed that many achievers had a certain vitality or charismatic force, which often correlated with strong personal passions. It's about achieving a higher form of creativity by utilizing all of your human energy, including that tied to love and sex. A contemporary interpretation could be focusing on emotional intelligence and motivation. When you learn to manage your emotional energies, like not letting lust derail you, or not letting a breakup destroy you, but instead motivate you, you become much more resilient and driven. Also, consider the power of a supportive, loving partner. Someone who believes in you can transmute fear into faith. If you don't have a partner, love for family or even a close friend can serve similarly. Dedicate your efforts to someone you deeply care for. People have achieved incredible things fueled by the desire to provide for or impress their loved ones. In sum, Hill is saying, don't underestimate the role of your human passions in achievement. They are not separate. They can feed your success if mastered. Many people in pursuit of success try to turn off emotions to be like robots. Hill says no, harness emotions, especially the most powerful one tied to our very procreation instinct. Perhaps the term sex transmutation sounds old-fashioned, but think of it as passion transformation. Turn passion into power, power to create, to invent, to endure. Combine the heart and the mind in your journey. When your heart's energy and your mind's plans work together, greatness can result. Chapter 11, The Subconscious Mind, The Connecting Link. Chapter 11 brings us deeper into the unseen realm of the subconscious mind, which Hill calls the connecting link, presumably the link between our finite mind and infinite intelligence, or the spiritual realm. The subconscious mind is essentially the part of our mind below our conscious awareness that stores our beliefs, memories, and controls our automatic behaviors. Hill's key insight: the subconscious is always working, either for us or against us. So we must feed it positive instructions and emotions to make it an ally. Hill reminds us that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between constructive and destructive thoughts. It just takes what you consistently give it through autosuggestion, repeated thoughts, and emotionalized thoughts, and works with that. This is why earlier chapters emphasized affirmations with feeling and guarding against fear and negativity. Your subconscious becomes the soil in which your dominant thoughts grow. Plant weeds, fear, doubt, self-pity, and you get a tangled mess. Plant healthy seeds, desire, confidence, success mindset, and you get a fruitful garden. He mentions that the subconscious mind is the intermediary through which we can tap into infinite intelligence or universal wisdom, and also the way our desires get transmuted into their physical equivalent. That sounds metaphysical, but practically, if your subconscious is convinced and primed with a vision, it will influence your conscious actions, creativity, and even your perception. You'll notice opportunities you might otherwise ignore to make that vision real. Think of subconscious as a 24/7 workshop in your brain that builds your character and circumstances based on what orders you send it. If you constantly say, "I'm terrible with money," your subconscious will ensure that identity holds true. Maybe you'll forget to pay bills or sabotage opportunities. If instead you repeatedly impress on it, "I am learning and growing wealth," it will steer you toward behaviors and solutions that align with that belief. Hill says you must saturate the subconscious with the feelings of your wish fulfilled through visualization, affirmations, etc. The subconscious responds strongly to emotion, hence his focus on emotionalizing your autosuggestions. It's like the language it understands. Mere words are like weak commands. Emotionalized words are like powerful directives. This chapter effectively ties the earlier principles together. Desire and faith are feelings that must sink into the subconscious. Persistence is tested when subconscious doubts surface. You overwrite them by persistent positive input. The mastermind can influence your subconscious by collective energy. It's all about getting your whole mind, conscious plus subconscious, aligned toward your goal. When that happens, you feel a kind of inner certainty and drive that is hard to shake. Modern psychology echoes some of these ideas in concepts like self-image, Maxwell Maltz's psychocybernetics, or Carol Dweck's mindset. Our subconscious self-image tends to produce behavior consistent with it. So changing deeply held beliefs at the subconscious level can indeed change outcomes. So how do we apply the power of the subconscious? We already started. Autosuggestion, visualization, affirmations. These are the tools to program the subconscious. Additionally, meditation or quiet reflection can help you become aware of subconscious patterns or receive intuitive insights from your subconscious. Ever had great ideas pop up when your mind is relaxed? That's your subconscious delivering answers. Hill might say from infinite intelligence. Another key point, emotional control. Hill warns that negative emotions, fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, anger, must be expelled or at least minimized, because they too program the subconscious in a destructive way. Conversely, cultivate the positive emotions, love, faith, courage, cheer, etc., as those strengthen the positive programming. It's not that you won't feel negative emotions, we all do, but don't dwell and let them become dominant. Actionable insights, working with your subconscious. Number 1, affirmation/visualization rituals. By now, you likely have some routine of affirmations or visualizing your success. Continue these daily. Think of it as watering your subconscious garden. Ideally, do it when you wake and before sleep, times when the mind is relaxed and impressions sink in deeper. For example, each night visualize for a few minutes that you've achieved your goal. Feel the happiness. This can influence your subconscious through the night. Number 2, emotional check-ins. Throughout the day, periodically notice your emotional state. If you find negative feelings dominating, frustration, self-doubt, pause. Take a few deep breaths and consciously pivot to a better thought. Even recall a past success or something you're grateful for to shift your mood. You are effectively training your subconscious by doing this, telling it, we don't live in those negative states, we choose better. Over time, your default emotional undercurrent, subconscious mood, will become more positive, which attracts positive ideas and outcomes. Number 3, dream solutions. Your subconscious is active in sleep, so why not use it? If you have a problem, ask your subconscious for a solution before bed. Literally think about the issue and say, I need the answer to X. Keep a notepad by your bed. You might wake with a new idea or even dream an answer. Many inventors and artists have credited dreams or nighttime insights for breakthroughs. That's the subconscious at work. Number 4, feed your mind inspiring material. What you read, watch, listen to influences your subconscious too. So surround yourself with positive, success-oriented content. Read biographies of great achievers. Your subconscious will absorb their can-do mindset. Listen to motivational podcasts or upbeat music. This isn't just conscious learning. It creates a mental environment that seeps into subconscious attitudes. As Hill might put it, keep the seeds, inputs, healthy so your subconscious soil grows good crops. Number 5, affirm subconscious belief. Occasionally, affirm directly, my subconscious mind is fully devoted to helping me achieve my goal. I trust it to guide me. This kind of meta-affirmation reinforces that your subconscious and you are on the same team. It encourages you to listen to gut hunches, subconscious signals, and to feel confident that even when you're not actively working, some part of you is. Example. Have you ever had a eureka moment doing something unrelated? That's your subconscious delivering. Believing that your subconscious is an ally actually makes it so. Hill essentially treated the subconscious as a gateway to a higher power, infinite intelligence. Whether or not one believes in a universal intelligence, it's certainly true that our subconscious can do processing beyond our conscious capacity. It's why sometimes you suddenly know the right decision after sleeping on it. Or why intuition can be so right your subconscious picked up on subtle cues your conscious mind didn't. By respecting and tuning into your subconscious, you add another engine to your train. You don't rely only on willpower. You get internal autopilot helping you. However, like any autopilot, it needs correct settings. Those settings are your habitual thoughts and beliefs. So see your mind as a whole iceberg. The small tip above water is conscious, the massive structure below is subconscious. We must ensure the underwater part is pointed in the same direction as the tip. When both are aligned toward your definite purpose, you become a force of nature. Hill closes the chapter on the subconscious by basically saying, it will translate into reality any impulse which is emotionalized and handed to it with belief. This is the essence of Think and Grow Rich. Think, consciously envision and believe, and grow rich. Your subconscious and the universe will coordinate to realize it. The subconscious is where the magic happens, but it's not magic. It's the result of mental conditioning. So guard your subconscious gates. Keep your mind saturated with positivity and focused desire. Over time, you'll notice your instincts, your luck, and your outcomes aligning more with your goals. That's the connecting link at work. Chapter 12. The Brain, a Broadcasting and Receiving Station for Thought. In Chapter 12, Hill delves into an idea that was quite ahead of its time. The brain as a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. He likens the human brain to a radio transmitter and receiver. Meaning, our brains emit frequencies through our dominating thoughts, and also can pick up frequencies or thoughts from others, especially when tuned via the subconscious and stimulated by strong emotion. This chapter is closely related to the previous one on the subconscious and the mastermind principle. Hill is basically describing a kind of telepathy or collective consciousness, though not in spooky terms but as a natural result of vibrating thought. When you hold a thought with emotional intensity, he suggests, it not only impresses your subconscious but also radiates outward. Likewise, in states of creativity or heightened emotion, you might receive ideas out of the blue, potentially from the ether of other minds or infinite intelligence. Now, whether or not thoughts literally radiate as brain waves others catch, consider this: attitude and emotions are contagious. You project your mental state in countless subtle ways. Tone, body language, choices of words. People around you sense it and often respond in kind. So in a practical sense, if you're broadcasting confidence and positivity, you tend to attract support and positive interactions, receiving like thoughts back. That's one way to see broadcasting/receiving. Hill also implies that a brain stimulated by high emotion, example, sexual energy or enthusiasm, can tune in to hunches and inspiration better, like it boosts the signal. This again aligns with modern ideas. When you're passionate, your brain is in a higher gear and might connect ideas faster, essentially downloading creative insights. He cites examples of creative partnerships, how sometimes two people brainstorming seem to bounce ideas in a way that something greater emerges. Mastermind effect. Possibly they're picking up each other's thought vibrations. This could also just be synergy, but Hill gives it a quasi-physical explanation by thought frequency. One big takeaway is the notion that we can influence reality and others with our thought emissions. So be mindful what you're broadcasting. We've all walked into a room and felt the vibe, good or bad, without a word spoken. If you constantly stew in frustration, you broadcast a negative vibe. Opportunities may shy from you. If you cultivate a positive success vibration, you tend to draw opportunities. Some call this the law of attraction, which really is about how our inner state influences our actions and how others respond, thus shaping our life. Ever notice how when you're fully engrossed in a goal, suddenly the right people or resources show up? It's like your focused mental broadcasting somehow aligns circumstances. Hill would say this is not coincidence. You were broadcasting your need intensely and someone receiving, consciously or subconsciously, was drawn to help. There's that famous concept of, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Perhaps the student's ready mind broadcasts a signal that a teacher picks up. Now, even if one is skeptical of literal thought radio waves, you can interpret this chapter as emphasizing the power of mindset to connect you with others and ideas. By keeping your mind highly tuned, active, positive, open, you will notice connections and chances that a dull, negative mind would miss. So a receiving station brain is one that listens keenly to intuition and inspiration, a skill one can practice via meditation or quiet creative thinking sessions. Hill encourages that by applying the principles, desire, faith, etc. You effectively amp up your brain's vibration. Faith, love, and sex, specifically, are listed as the most potent emotional stimulants to the mind. When vibrating with these positive emotions, your brain can broadcast/receive at a higher level. Conversely, negative emotions would broadcast jamming frequencies. Actionable insights, tuning your mental radio. Number 1, practice sending positive thoughts. Before entering a meeting or making a phone call, consciously adopt the attitude you want to convey. For example, if you're pitching to a client, take a moment to think strongly about how passionate you are about helping them. Visualize goodwill flowing from you. It might sound woo-woo, but by doing so, you'll subtly convey enthusiasm and sincerity. Your voice, words, energy will match your thought. This is broadcasting deliberately. Number 2, sharpen your intuition. Pay attention to hunches or gut feelings, especially when you've been saturating your mind with your goal. If out of nowhere you feel like, I should call this person, or I have a solution idea, test it out. That could be your subconscious or perhaps that collective intelligence sending you the answer. The more you act on well-founded hunches and see them succeed, the more you trust your inner receiver. Number 3, group brainstorm, tuning in. When you're in a mastermind meeting or any team brainstorming, try this. Have everyone do a quick relaxation or positivity exercise, like 1 minute of thinking about a success or something happy, to raise the frequency in the room. Then brainstorm. You might find ideas flow more freely and build off each other, as if you really are tuned to one another. Essentially, get the group into a positive, open-minded mood, broadcasting on same wavelength, to maximize the creative synthesis. Number 4, limit mental noise. To effectively broadcast/receive, reduce mental clutter. Practice moments of silence where you let your thoughts settle, perhaps through meditation or even a quiet walk without your phone. This can clear out static of overthinking. Many great inventors took daily walks, often when their best ideas came to them. This quiet may allow subtle thoughts broadcasted from your subconscious or environment to be noticed. If our mind is always noisy or negative, it's like constant static interfering. Number 5, visualize mutual success. When dealing with others, partners, clients, employees, spend a bit of time visualizing the mutual success and goodwill of the interaction. For example, if you manage a team, visualize the team thriving and accomplishing goals together, everyone feeling valued. By doing so, you broadcast leadership and empathy. Team members might not know you did that, but they will likely feel more understood and motivated by you because your actions, influenced by those thoughts, will encourage that outcome. Hill's view of the brain was somewhat metaphorical given 1930s science, but modern science does show that brainwaves are a real phenomenon. We can measure alpha, beta waves, etc. While we haven't proven mind reading, consider how technologies and ideas have often been invented simultaneously by people continents apart, like calculus by Newton and Leibniz, or the telephone by Bell and Gray. Some say the time was ripe and multiple brains tapped into the same need. Or in a mastermind, how often someone voices what you were just thinking, almost spooky synergy. Hill would nod vigorously. The brains were on the same wavelength, literally. For our purposes, take it as empowerment. Your mind is not isolated. It interacts with the world in ways unseen. So, keep it broadcasting positivity and success. Trust that doing so draws opportunities. People who resonate will come. People who don't will fade, which is good. And keep your receiver on by maintaining an open, curious mindset. Some of your best ideas might not feel entirely your own, and that's okay. Hill would say it might be infinite intelligence giving you a nod. In essence, this chapter encourages you to believe that thoughts are a form of energy. They're not just private. They have a way of affecting reality beyond your skull. Think and grow rich could almost be vibrate and grow rich in this context. Get your mental vibration tuned to success, and like a magnet, it will attract equivalent energy. This merges science, psychology, and a hint of spiritual law. So treat your brain like the powerful transmitter it is. Guard what you broadcast, and be intentional about it. It might just connect you to exactly the right frequency for riches of all kinds. Chapter 13. The sixth sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. We've arrived at the final principle. The sixth sense, which Hill describes as the apex of the philosophy, and the door to the temple of wisdom. The sixth sense, in Hill's terms, is essentially intuition, or that hunch feeling that comes from the subconscious, or perhaps from a higher source. It's the culmination of mastering the other principles. When your mind is so attuned and receptive, you get flashes of insight that guide you at crucial moments. Hill admits this concept may be hard to grasp if you haven't experienced it, and he acknowledges he didn't fully understand it until after many years of practicing the other steps. It's like the reward for mental discipline, an almost psychic ability to sense the right moves or foresee things. Some might call it gut instinct, inspiration, or divine guidance. Hill firmly believed that through the sixth sense, infinite intelligence communicates with us spontaneously, delivering ideas or warnings. For a concrete example, have you ever avoided something because of a strong gut feeling and later found out your intuition was right? Or had a brilliant idea out of nowhere that saved you? That's what Hill means. He gives the idea of a guardian angel, or that little voice that whispers solutions. He's not necessarily speaking religiously. He's putting a quasi-spiritual name to a phenomenon of advanced awareness. He also describes practicing sitting quietly with eyes closed, seeking counsel from imaginary meetings with great figures, his famous invisible counselors technique. He'd imagine a committee of historical mentors like Lincoln, Edison, etc., and in his imagination ask them for advice. Over time, through this exercise, which is really a deep visualization tapping the subconscious, he started to get unexpected insights, as if those imaginary mentors took on lives of their own and told him things he hadn't consciously thought. It freaked him out at first, but then he realized his subconscious creativity via sixth sense was at work. The practicality of the sixth sense is that it can help you avoid dangers and grasp opportunities seemingly beyond logic. Call it a gut warning, or a sudden inspiration to pivot your business before the market changes. Many successful people credit these unexplainable hunches. However, Hill cautions, you can't really train the sixth sense directly without mastering the others. It sort of comes naturally once you have the mindset and habits well ingrained. When your mind is positive, focused, saturated with your goal, open to intuition, and connected with a master mind, the sixth sense starts operating. It's like the flowering of all your efforts. You might think, well, I'm not psychic, but you don't have to label it that way. Think of it as developing excellent intuition. You likely have experienced glimpses, times everything clicked, or you just knew something was the right choice without analysis, and it was. Hill is telling us those abilities can become more frequent and reliable. So how can we create conditions for the sixth sense? We've mostly answered, follow all the steps. Additionally, quiet your mind regularly, meditation or prayer, because sixth sense often speaks in silence. If your mind is constantly busy or stressed, you may not notice the whisper of intuition. Many find early morning or late night when the world is quiet, they get downloads of ideas. That's the sixth sense time frame. Also, respect your hunches when they come. Test them. The more you act on good hunches and see them succeed, the stronger your intuitive muscle gets, because you build trust in it. Conversely, if you ignore them and only rationalize, you might dull that sense. It's akin to building a relationship with your subconscious/intuition. Listen to it, and it will speak more clearly. Actionable insights, cultivating the sixth sense. Number 1. Daily quiet time. Dedicate a few minutes each day to pure silence with your eyes closed. You can do Hill's invisible counselor's exercise. Imagine sitting at a table with a few people you admire, alive or historical, who are experts or wise. Pose a question about your life or goal to them in your mind. Then imagine how they would answer. Don't force it, just wait. You might be surprised at the advice that surfaces. Even if it feels like you're making it up, you might reveal your own inner wisdom or subconscious knowledge this way. At worst, it's a creative thinking exercise. At best, it taps the sixth sense. Number 2. Keep an intuition journal. Whenever you get a strong hunch or gut feeling, jot it down, what it is and the context. Also note outcomes. Did you follow it? Was it right? Over time, this journal can validate that your intuition often has merit, or identify when it might be emotion/fear disguised as intuition. This reflection helps you distinguish true sixth sense guidance from random anxiety or wishful thinking. True intuitive flashes often feel calm or clear, whereas anxious thoughts are jittery. Number 3, ask your subconscious for guidance. Similar to dream solutions, but even in waking hours, if stuck on a problem, literally pause and mentally say, I need guidance on X. Please give me a hint. Then let it go for a bit, do something else. Sometimes within minutes or hours an idea pops in your head. You prime the pump, so to speak. The key is to sincerely ask, signaling trust in that inner voice, and then stay open. Number 4, emotion and sixth sense. Pay attention to feelings in your body. Hill believed our creative intelligence speaks not just in thoughts but in feelings. The sixth sense might manifest as a pit in your stomach about a deal that looks good on paper, maybe telling you something's off, or a sudden excitement about a path you hadn't considered. Notice these signals. Next time you meet someone, for example, and you feel an instant comfort or discomfort, log that. Those can be intuitive cues beyond surface logic. Number 5, gradual mastery. Don't be frustrated if you don't feel eureka moments daily. Hill said this ability grows with time. Keep feeding your mind positive input, practice all previous principles, and be patient. One day, you'll make a decision or create something and wonder, how did I think of that? That's the sixth sense at work seamlessly. A lot of it is hindsight recognition. So, commit to the process and trust that your intuitive capacity is developing even if you can't see it immediately. Hill sometimes calls the sixth sense the temple of wisdom. It's like the final step where you transcend just working hard and start working smartly, in tune with the universe. It may sound spiritual, and for Hill it was somewhat. But practically, think of it as reaching a level of self-mastery where your decisions and ideas just seem to click more often than not. People might even comment, you're so lucky, or you have great instincts. That is the fruition of internalizing all these principles. He also notes the sixth sense will warn you of impending dangers. Maybe you get a bad feeling about a partnership and avoid it. Later you find it would have been disastrous, and alert you to opportunities, like an inner nudge to attend a certain event where you meet a key investor. Many top performers credit gut feelings for pivotal moves. They might not publicly talk about a sixth sense, but in personal memoirs, you'll hear something told me to do X, and it changed my life. As you integrate these 13 steps, you will likely feel more connected to your own inner voice, to others, and to your goal. The sixth sense is that connection fully realized. It's almost as if you have a quiet partner in your mind that guides you. Some call it intuition. Some say it's God or the subconscious genius. Whatever name, it's there to tap into. Hill assures that developing the sixth sense leads to what he calls peace of mind, because you trust yourself and the higher order of things. You won't fear the unknown so much because you sense you'll be guided when needed. It's a beautiful promise. By following this philosophy, you not only gain material success, but also a sort of inner security and harmony with life. At this point in Think and Grow Rich, Hill has given us the full toolkit, from raw desire to refined intuition. The journey doesn't end here. It's a lifetime practice. But even applying these ideas bit by bit can bring remarkable change. Conclusion, summing up the riches of Think and Grow Rich. We've traveled through each of the 13 principles of Think and Grow Rich. Let's take a moment to summarize the core principles and reflect on how they fit together in your life. Number 1. Desire. Everything starts with a burning want. Not a wish, a definite, white-hot obsession for a specific goal. Dream big and absolutely commit to that dream. This strong desire is the engine of your achievement. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Is my desire strong enough to carry me through challenges? Number 2, faith. Believe in yourself and your purpose with such intensity that you can see and feel it already accomplished. Faith is a state of mind you can create via affirmations and positive imagery. It gives your subconscious the green light to go get your desire. Ask, do I genuinely expect success or merely hope? How can I strengthen my self-belief each day? Number 3, autosuggestion. You are the guardian of your mind. By repeatedly feeding your mind positive, goal-oriented thoughts and mental pictures, you influence the mighty subconscious. Affirm your goals, morning and night. Visualize your victory. Over time, your mind believes what you tell it. Remember, your subconscious is always listening, so choose your inner dialogue wisely. Number 4, specialized knowledge. Knowledge is only power when applied. Figure out the skills and information you need for your goal, and go get them. Be a student of your craft. Don't try to know everything. Focus on becoming an expert where it counts. And if you don't have the knowledge, tap into someone who does. Lifelong learning and collaboration are your allies. Number 5, imagination. This is the workshop where you design your future. Use both synthetic imagination, combining existing ideas, and creative imagination, dreaming up new ideas, to innovate. Every advancement begins as a mental image. So spend time brainstorming, envisioning novel solutions, and nurturing those what-if ideas. Your imagination is your preview of life's coming attractions. Dare to let it run free. Number 6, organized planning. Your dreams need legs, concrete plans of action. Formulate a plan, even if it's imperfect, and put it into motion. Coordinate your steps and the help of others. Maybe your mastermind group. Be decisive and start now. If the plan doesn't work, adjust it, but keep the goal fixed. A ship reaches port not by luck, but by a planned course, adjusted as needed. Number 7, decision. Procrastination is the enemy. Cultivate the habit of prompt, bold decisions. Trust your research and instincts, make the call and commit. Indecision creates doubt and fear. Decision creates confidence and momentum. Remember, the winner's mindset is, I'll find a way, while the quitter says, it's too hard. Be the decision maker in your own life. It's a key quality of all leaders. Number 8, persistence. The journey will test you. Those who succeed are simply those who refuse to quit when others did. Persistence means sticking with your plan and your purpose despite obstacles, delays, and failures. Each setback is temporary, if you keep going. So, cultivate perseverance like a muscle. When you feel like giving up, recall why you started and push a little further. Often, the darkest hour is just before dawn. Don't stop 3 feet from gold. Number 9, mastermind. You are not alone in your quest. Form a network, a mastermind of people with whom you can share knowledge, encouragement, and accountability. 2 or more minds working in harmony create a power greater than the sum of their parts. Lean on your mastermind partners and be there for them. Brainstorm together, solve problems together, celebrate wins together. This collective support will accelerate your growth and keep you inspired. Number 10, sex transmutation. Energy channeling. Recognize the potent creative energy you possess in your passions, your drive, your love. Channel that energy into your work and ideas. Instead of letting urges or emotions distract or control you, redirect their intensity toward your goals. Passion, when harnessed, becomes genius. Keep a healthy balance and let your emotions power your creativity, not sabotage it. Number 11, the subconscious mind. It's the control center that works day and night, knitting together your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. You must program it with care. Through repeated positive thoughts, autosuggestion, and emotional desire, you train your subconscious to drive you toward your goals. It will start presenting you with ideas, opportunities, and coincidences that reflect what you dwell upon. So guard your thoughts. Make sure the dominant pattern in your mind is the one you want, because that is what your subconscious will relentlessly seek to materialize. Number 12, the brain. Broadcasting and receiving. Your brain is not an isolated organ. It's more like a station that can send out vibrations of thought and pick up others' vibrations. Keep your mental frequency positive and success-oriented. You will attract like-minded people and ideas. This is the essence of the law of attraction that many speak of. Likewise, stay open to intuitive hunches. This is your brain receiving guidance, often when you least expect it. By keeping your mind tuned to success, you become a magnet for it. Number 13, the sixth sense, intuition. Ultimately, as you internalize these principles, you'll develop a sixth sense, a reliable gut instinct that guides you when you face decisions or dangers. It's that flash of insight or that eerie sense of knowing what to do. This is the universe's way of whispering to you. Not everyone trusts or hears their intuition, but you will have awakened yours. It will help you seize opportunities and avoid pitfalls in ways that might seem like lucky hunches to others. But you'll know it's your higher self and subconscious working together, honed by all your positive mental habits. In essence, Think and Grow Rich is a blueprint for a new way of life. It's not merely about accumulating money, though you can, but about becoming a person of purpose, faith, and action. It's about thinking yourself into the life you desire by aligning all parts of your mind toward that purpose, and thereby influencing reality. Remember that these principles require action. Knowledge alone won't cut it, you must apply it. Start right now. What one action can you take today that moves you a step closer to your burning desire? It could be as simple as writing down your goal, or calling a potential mentor, or signing up for a course. Do it, and tomorrow do another. Each small step, taken persistently, compounds into extraordinary results. You might encounter skeptics or face internal doubts. When you do, recall the stories we've discussed. From Edison to Barnes to Ford to the many unnamed folks who quietly used these principles to transform their lives. If they could do it, so can you. Hill firmly believed, and I do too, that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This is not just a pretty phrase. It's a fact, proven by countless examples. Your mind is the starting point of all riches, be they financial, emotional, or spiritual. Take charge of your mind, and you take charge of your destiny. This is the grand message of Think and Grow Rich. Riches, in every sense, are within your grasp, if you are willing to think, believe, and act in a certain way, the way outlined by these principles. As we conclude this video, I invite you to do a personal reflection. Close your eyes and imagine yourself, say 5 or 10 years from now, having achieved your major goal. How does it feel? Pretty amazing, right? Hold on to that feeling. That is the fuel that will drive you forward starting today. Open your eyes now, and know that you have the tools and inner power to make that vision real. Final reflections, your journey forward. You now carry the torch of Napoleon Hill's wisdom. But a torch only shines if you keep it lit and carry it forward. So make Hill's philosophy a living philosophy in your daily routine. Review these principles often. Whenever you face a challenge, think back. Which principle can I apply right now? If fear grips you, recall faith and autosuggestion. If you hit a roadblock, persistence and imagination. If you feel alone, mastermind. If you feel aimless, desire and planning. The answers are there. The Great Depression-era readers found hope and a path in this book. Today, in our fast-changing world, these principles are just as powerful. Economic and personal hardships still exist, but now you have a timeless playbook to navigate them. Hill liked to say that thoughts are things, very real forces. So guard and direct your thoughts like the precious resources they are. You truly can think, and feel, and act your way to the life you choose. On a personal note, having walked with you through this summary, I genuinely hope you feel inspired and empowered. The next step is to implement. Maybe pick 1 or 2 principles to focus on this week, say persistence and organized planning, and consciously practice them. Then add others. Over time, you'll develop a success mindset so strong that achievement becomes almost automatic, and obstacles become temporary puzzles to solve. As you embark, or continue, on your journey of success, keep this in mind. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. To quote the poem Invictus, Think and Grow Rich has given you the compass. Now it's up to you to set sail. Go forward and live these principles. May your definite desires come to fruition. May your faith be unwavering, and may your life be filled with the riches, material and intangible, that make it worthwhile. Remember, riches begin with a state of mind, with definiteness of purpose, with little daily victories in thought. Thank you for spending this time to enrich your mind. I believe in you and your dreams. Now you believe in you. As Napoleon Hill himself would encourage, don't wait. Start now. The world needs more dreamers and doers like you. Go think and grow rich in success, in wealth, in happiness, in all that matters to you. The journey is yours to create. If this deep dive into Think and Grow Rich resonated with you, I invite you to join the conversation. Comment below which principle spoke to you the most. Do you have a personal experience with any of these steps? I'd love to hear your stories and any questions or insights you have. We're all here to learn and grow together. Your story might spark a breakthrough for someone else watching. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more enriching content like this. We explore timeless books, success strategies, and personal growth tips every week, and we'd be honored to have you as part of this community of achievers. Remember to share this video with friends or anyone you know who has big dreams. Let's spread the wisdom and help others think and grow rich in their own lives. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Your time is precious, and I hope we honored it with quality insights. Until next time, stay inspired, stay persistent, and keep turning your thoughts into reality. You've got this. Here's to your success. I'm cheering you on every step of the way. Now go out there and make your rich thoughts become your rich life.